students, today I am going to discuss the remaining questions from the exemplar problems of the chapter alcohols, phenols and ethers. So I have chosen certain questions which I find I have to discuss, no, which you may find it difficult. So from this water and alcohol and acetylene, we have to arrange these molecules in the decreasing order of the acidity. So for acidity, we have to write the conjugate base. Okay, so this is the conjugate base. I have written it already. So stronger the conjugate base, weaker will be the corresponding acid. So first we have to discuss the strength of the conjugate base. So this is neutral. Your hydrogen, here the electron density is not influenced by hydrogen. Hydrogen is a neutral thing. It is neither an electron donating group nor an electron withdrawing group. Okay, so it is strong. That's all. It is a strong base. When compared to alcohol, here R group is there. It is an alkyl group, so it has plus I effect which pushes electrons, so thereby the electron density on the oxygen increases, so it is a very strong base. Okay, so here when you compare this acetylene anion, you must think that this anion, this unpaired electrons are present in, what is the hybridization here, student? It is sp hybridized. So sp hybridized means it is 50% s character, 50% S character. So it is highly stabilized. It is a very strong base. Okay, so it is a very strong base. In fact, I must tell. So the corresponding acid will be very weak. So this corresponding, so strong base, very strong base, very strong base. So this corresponding acid is very weak, very weak. Okay, so this is okay. So this is the order. So always please keep this thing in your mind. Weaker the conjugate base, stronger will be the acid. Stronger the conjugate base, weaker will be your acid. So here propanone. Okay, so they have asked this conversion, propane. Okay, propane 2-one to this tertiary butyl alcohol. So if you closely observe, there are 2 methyl groups and here there are 3 methyl groups. Okay, so what does it mean? It is not a regular reduction. Regular reduction means what you would have got. You would have got, if it is a regular reduction, you would have got only 2 methyl group. But here you got an alcohol with an extra methyl group. So here where this methyl came from? So this methyl came from the Grignard reagent. It's a nucleophile, right? So the extra part, it can be ethyl, any alkyl. The extra part you take it as Grignard. That is the trick. If it is RMgX, that's all. Okay, so if it is R, take RMgX. That is the reagent. Look for any extra alkyl group. Okay, so here X means, so any halogen. So I am going to take it as chloride here. Okay, so what is the polarity here? So what is the polarity? What is the charge on methyl? So charge on methyl is CH3 minus. So what it will do? So it will go and attack. Okay, so here in RMgBr or RMgCl, here it is a nucleophile, so it will go and attack this carbon. Okay, so there is an electrophilic difference, correct? Electronegative difference. Here it is oxygen is more electronegative, so it will polarize in this direction. It will pull electrons in this direction. Okay, so here, so CH3, so CH3 here, the new CH3 here, the old one. So here O minus and this MgBr will come and sit here. Okay, and then you have to finally treat with acid so that the MgBr will go. Okay, the MgBr will go, and instead of that MgBr you will get a proton here. So the trick is, if you see any extra alkyl group, so that is an Grignard reagent, that is a Grignard reaction. Okay, so next question. So I'm sorry for the poor quality. And explain why OH group in phenols is more strongly held as compared to the OH group in alcohols. Okay, and this question also in the same, I'm going to give the same explanation. Explain why nucleophilic substitution reactions are not very common in phenols. Okay, so these two questions, and one more question. The carbon oxygen bond in phenol is slightly stronger than that in methanol. So for all these 3 questions, I'm going to give only one explanation. What is that? So if you take phenol, So I have discussed this before itself. If you take a phenol and a regular, I'm going to take methanol as an example, another alkyl alcohol. Okay, if you compare these two, this methyl, okay, this methyl is sp3 hybridized, and this carbon where this OH is attached is sp2 hybridized. Okay, so and one more thing. So sp2 hybridized means here more s character is more here. And one more thing, here due to the benzene ring, due to the aromatic ring, the lone pairs are involved in resonance. And due to this resonance, we get a partial double bond character. A partial double bond character. Here it is purely single. This oxygen carbon is attached, this oxygen is attached to this carbon in regular alcohol. Okay, in aliphatic alcohol, it is a pure single bond, and its bond length will be 154 picometer. For a carbon double bond, it must be 134. So the strength is more, lesser the bond length, more lesser the bond length, more strong is the bond. So here if you measure, it is in between the double bond and the single bond, 136 picometer. Okay, so it is a double bond character. So this makes the carbon oxygen bond very stronger. So, okay, so the answer for the question. And one more thing, yes, for this reason, the double bond character, the bond between this oxygen and carbon is very strong. And one more thing, why phenols are not undergoing nucleophilic substitution? Because of this double bond character. For this double bond character, as you see in methanol, in regular methanol, we can do nucleophilic substitution. You can do nucleophilic substitution. Okay, from the backside attack you can remove the alcohol, but here due to this double bond, it is very strong. It is very strong, and that too, this carbon is sp2. sp2 is what it is, more of s character, means it will be, the electronegativity will be very high. You know that electronegativity. So this is the order. This is the order for electronegativity. More the s character increases, electronegativity increases. If electronegativity increases, how can you remove one group? Okay, so all these three questions has been answered. Okay, then explain why the carbon dioxide is non-polar while the ether is polar. Okay, so first we have to know the structure for this. Okay, so these are all some interesting questions, students, and you can score more marks. Okay, see, for carbon dioxide, what is the structure? It is linear. Here, which is more electronegative? Oxygen. So in this bond, the electrons are under the control of oxygen, so it will pull electrons, so there is a dipole moment. Okay, so here also oxygen will pull electrons because oxygen is more electronegative than carbon, so it will pull electrons like this. So here there is a dipole moment. So but they are exactly in opposite direction, so they will get nullified, and the net dipole moment will be equal to 0. So if there is only dipole moment, it will be polar. So for this reason this is non-polar. But when you take, okay, we have to write in proper geometry, then only we can say. See, here in ether we have two lone pairs, and it is in tetrahedral structure, tetrahedral geometry, right? So here what happens, it is not in a linear form, and here oxygen is more electronegative, alkyl, a carbon is attached, is it not? So here the dipole moment is in this direction. Okay, dipole moment is in this direction, and here the dipole moment is in the direction. See, same direction, and it will reinforce, and you will have a net dipole moment in the same direction. You see, net dipole, nothing get cancelled out, and for this reason, okay, it is polar. Net dipole moment is there. Okay, so this reason you need to know the hybridization and the geometry. That's all. Okay, then why is the reactivity of all the three classes of alcohols with the Lucas reagent is different? Okay, so in the Lucas reagent, you must know one thing. So if you take alcohol, Okay, so alcohol when treated with concentrated HCl and zinc chloride, this is a Lucas reagent, right? Alcohol when you take, this is completely soluble. Alcohol or completely soluble. Alcohol completely soluble in Lucas reagent. But what is the product? The corresponding halide. It is insoluble in this reagent. It is insoluble in this reagent. So what happens if R is a tertiary group, okay? So you will get the corresponding alkyl chloride immediately. Okay, so turbidity appears immediately because it is not soluble. Turbidity appears immediately. For secondary, the turbidity appears after some time. For primary, no reaction at room temperature. You have to warm. Okay, you have to heat it to certain extent. So why this happens? Because this reaction mechanism goes through a carbocation mechanism it follows. So here you know the tertiary carbocation is more stable, so the tertiary undergoes the reaction more faster than the secondary, than the primary, because it goes through carbocation mechanism. Primary carbocation is really unstable, no, that's why it is not forming immediately, so we have to heat it. Okay, carbocation mechanism, okay, mechanism is followed, that is the reason. Okay, so next one, nitration is an example of aromatic electrophilic substitution, and its rate depends on the group already present. So in phenol, the nitration takes place easily than benzene. Why? Okay, so here this is a benzene. Okay, and you have to do nitration, so concentrated HNO3 and H2SO4. Okay, so when compared to phenol, you have an activating group. So what kind of activating group? Oxygen has a lone pair of electrons, and due to the lone pairs, it will be involved in resonance, and this makes the sites active, especially ortho and para sites active. So the nitration takes place much more easily because nitro group is a very electron deficient. It's a very electron deficient group, so it needs electron rich center. So in the OH is an activating group. So what happens? You get ortho and para, and sometimes you get trinitro also. Okay, depending on the condition, you get di, tri. Okay, so mixture of compounds you will get, because OH is an activating group. It is an activating group. Its presence, the lone pairs makes the aromatic center electron rich, and your species is highly electron deficient. It is highly electron deficient. That is the reason. Okay, then in Kolb's reaction, instead of phenol, phenoxide ion is treated with carbon dioxide. Yes. For what is a Kolb reaction actually? So Kolb reaction, first you will take what? First you will take phenol, you will treat with sodium. Okay, you will prepare this either with sodium hydroxide, like that. You will prepare this first, then only you will treat with carbon dioxide, and followed by your H plus. So you will get salicylic acid. So here what happens? Carbon dioxide is a very weak electrophile. So when compared to phenol, when you treat, okay, it has lone pair, it makes the electron sites ortho and para position electron rich, but when you remove a proton and makes this as a sodium phenoxide ion, this is much more nucleophilic. It makes the centers even more rich. Okay, so instead of a lone pair, we have a pair of electrons, free electrons, that can make the reaction very easy, because it is a very weak electrophile, where it will not react at all. Okay, it is very strong. Okay, unless it is very strong, this reaction will not take place. So instead of phenol, we are using this phenoxide ion. Okay, so that is the reason. The dipole moment of phenol The dipole moment of phenol is much smaller than that of methanol. Why? Okay, so here dipole moment again. So this is your phenol, and this is what? This is your methanol. This is your methanol. So we have to write in proper structure, no? So here, when you compare to this, phenol C6H5, this phenyl group will pull electrons, okay, in this direction. And here oxygen is also what? Is also an electron withdrawing group. So here also a dipole moment in this direction. Okay, so what happens? It cancels out. Somehow it cancels. It is not in same dimension. It is not in same magnitude. Okay, so maybe this will be quite little. So some part get nullified, and due to this the dipole moment is smaller. But when here it reinforces, as I told you, here the dipole moment is in this direction, and here also this side also it is in this direction, because hydrogen is not a electron withdrawing group. This also will push electrons. Okay, both are in this direction, so it get reinforced and you will get a net dipole moment, but some way. Okay, if it is an opposite direction but not in the same magnitude also, somehow, okay, this is bigger and this is smaller, this amount get cancelled out here and you will get a little dipole moment, but here a net dipole moment. That is why the dipole moment is, this is very polar than phenol. Okay, the dipole moment is always related to the polarity. And ethers can be prepared by Williamson ether synthesis, in which an alkyl halide reacted with sodium alkoxide, but you cannot prepare di-tertiary butyl ether by this method. Okay, why they are asking? So this is a very beautiful question. See, usually what is Williamson ether synthesis? You will take RX, right? So then you have to treat with alcohol, sodium alkoxide. So this reaction will takes place, so you prepare ether. Okay, but in case of a tertiary butyl, see tertiary, what is tertiary butyl? So you cannot do this reaction in case of tertiary. X stands for halides. Okay, so here if you expect the same reaction, whereby, okay, what happens really is, we for to make it easy we are doing like this, but what really happens is this O minus, it is a strong nucleophile. We assume it must go and attack the carbon and the X must leave. It is a leaving group. Okay, it must leave. So leaving behind this di-tertiary, okay, this di-tertiary ether, but this product will not take place. Why? Because here it cannot be a nucleophile, because a nucleophile, it is also somewhat sterically hindered. This nucleophile cannot approach this carbon, because you see it is surrounded, it is crowded by methyl groups. It cannot approach. For nucleophilicity, what is a nucleophile? It must go and approach. This approach cannot take place because this is also bulky and this is also bulky. So, but another thing also, this acts as a very strong base. See, all the CH3 groups, so the electron density increases. It is a very strong base. So always there is a competition between substitution and elimination. There will always be a competition. Here elimination is going to be favored due to the high electron density, the high basic strength of this one and the steric hindrance. Okay, here elimination is going to take place. What happens here? The tertiary butyl, no, we used to like this. See here, this is a carbon, this is methyl, no, short form. Here it cannot approach, no, but what it will do, it will go and take one proton, abstract one proton from here. Okay, and whereby the elimination takes place, leading to an alkene. Okay, so the expected product, your ditertiary butyl cannot be prepared by this method. You will end up with only an eliminated product. Okay, so this is the reason. So always there will be a competition between, so nucleophile must be smaller in size, it must be electron density must also be more, and it has to go and approach. That is the important question. Why is the COH bond angle in alcohols is slightly less than the tetrahedral angle, whereas the COC bond angle is in ether is slightly greater. So here, so for solving this kind of question, students, so I will tell you one thing. You have to consider the repulsion. Okay, so first of all I will draw the structure for alcohol and ether. Okay, so here what is exact tetrahedral bond angle? That is something 109 degree 28 minutes. Okay, so here what we observed is this is 108 something. Okay, not much less, and this is slightly greater than this one. So this is slightly greater. The bond angle in ether is slightly greater than this one, and bond angle in alcohol is slightly lesser than this one. They are asking the question. What is the reason? So we must always consider that the lone pair repulsion is very much greater than lone pair bond pair. Then comes your bond pair. Okay, apart from this we also must consider the steric repulsion. What is steric? Bulky groups. See, logically you think you cannot, two fat people cannot sit together, no? Like that. Okay, so here there are two lone pairs. So what will happen? There is a repulsion. We used to show like this way. Repulsion. So they used to repulse each other. So the bond angle here slightly bent. Here there is no problem because hydrogen is a small guy. He's a small guy, so they can easily adjust. Okay, methyl is telling please adjust with me because these people are pushing me. Okay, so the small adjustment, so the bond angle decreased from the normal one. From here what happens, you can ask me, here also there is lone pair. Yes, here also there is lone pair, and here the repulsion takes place as usual. They are repulsing and methyl says okay, but here both are methyl. It is not like hydrogen. And here also there will be some steric repulsion. Here not bond pair, lone pair, not that kind of steric repulsion. Okay, I can't, don't come closer too much. Okay, so like this. But here, okay, overall adjustment. Here there is also some steric repulsion. So due to this, okay, taking into account both this, the bond angle is 111, not so much greater. Okay, so here the steric repulsion. So explain why low molecular mass alcohols are soluble in water. This I have explained in the previous class itself. See, the alcohols tend to form. See, I will write in a new paper. See, the alcohols tend to form hydrogen bonding with water, and this what makes it soluble. It forms hydrogen bonding with water. But what happens, this is applicable for lower alcohols. This is applicable. Lower alcohol means when alkyl group is very small, but when alkyl group, the chain length increases, when the chain length increases or the alkyl groups becomes very bulky, what happens, the hydrophobicity means what? Phobicity, it is water repellent. Hydrophobicity increases, so this makes, although it can form hydrogen bonding, when the alkyl groups increases, okay, hydrophobicity increases, so it becomes insoluble. So only the lower alcohols, low molecular weight alcohols are soluble in water, and the higher molecules are not soluble because the hydrophobicity increases. Then explain why paranitrophenol is more acidic than phenol. This we have discussed several times. And explain why alcohols and ethers of comparable masses have different boiling points. This is a very good question. So I am going to choose an alcohol and ether of comparable molecular mass. So I have chosen ethanol and a dimethyl ether. See, both are same. If you see, these are they have the same molecular formula. same molecular weight, but what happens, what they are telling, they are boiling point. Okay, here if they ask boiling point, you can surely say, see, this is alcohol. It must be involved in hydrogen bonding with another alcohol. Okay, another alcohol. So this continues. So there is an intermolecular attraction called hydrogen bonding. So in order to boil this, you have to break all these intermolecular forces. Here it is, apart from van der Waals force, here hydrogen bonding is there. So you need much energy. So the boiling point is very high. Here in ether there is no hydrogen bonding, because what is the criteria for hydrogen bonding? A hydrogen that is attached to an highly electronegative atom and a higher electronegative atom. Okay, here no hydrogen bonding, no intermolecular force, so it boils easily, quickly it boils. Its boiling point is very high because first of all you need to break all the molecules separately, then only it will start to boil. Okay, so that is the reason. Arrange water, ethanol and phenol in increasing order of acidity. So we have done this many times, no? Water and this is your ethanol and this is your phenol. So I told you to compare with the conjugate base. So the less weaker conjugate base will be the most acidic. So this is a weaker conjugate base. The electron density increases because it is involved in resonance. Here it is a strong conjugate base, and this is what this is moderate. This is moderate conjugate base. So first comes in acidity wise, acidity, this is more acidic. Then comes your moderate OH minus water, and then your C2H5OH. Okay, so this is the order of acidity. Okay students, with this I finish solving the exemplar problems of this chapter, and meet you in the next video with a new topic. Thank you.